Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. Change on the way for our temperatures. Tuesday, Charleston got down to 53 for a low, 10 degrees below average, but quickly returning to overnight lows in the mid-60s as early as tonight. We'll then stay there consistently by Monday morning, starting off around 70, topping off in the 90s. So summer heat is making a comeback. One widespread round of thunderstorms Thursday afternoon, evening, into the overnight hours with a marginal risk for some damaging winds and large hail. Also locally heavy rainfall from Charleston toward Elkins and south of that line. We may see some localized flash flooding. Widespread accumulation, not much beyond that 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be all about where we could see some stubborn thunderstorms with slow movement, bringing some heavy rain over the same areas. Overnight, the storms in Ohio fall apart before they make it much into West Virginia. Then we will be seeing from Thursday afternoon into the evening, northwest to southeast movement of those thunderstorms ahead of a cold front. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. That same system will bring some storms if you're traveling toward D.C. and New York, but then high pressure quiets things down for those areas, including here at home over the weekend. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast. No more 50-degree lows even in the cooler areas. Mid-60s looking north overnight, then low to mid-80s here on Thursday. Looking toward Martinsburg to stay at 67 for a low, then close to 90 for a high Thursday, reaching 90 toward Petersburg and Moorfield. Even Snowshoe, 59 is the low temperature, then 75 there on Thursday, but 80s are common elsewhere. We'll see 61 for Marlinton, then Huntington at 66, closer to 90 for Huntington Thursday, Marlinton at 83. Over the weekend, trending quiet and hot.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. For your entertainment, Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK 304. Or call 800-765-8255. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, let's do this. Hello, West Virginia. We're back for more in the 304. Time to get it done in the 681. Time to start this 3-hour audio tour for Wednesday, August 26th, 2026. Metro News Hotline comes to you from the Salango Law Studios. Visit salangolaw.com. Coop, this is one of those days where we just can't be sick. We just got too much stuff happening, man.
Sick? Who said sick?
Nobody. You can't afford to be sick.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we got high school football coming. You got week 0 coming this weekend. Steelers playing tomorrow night. Well, look who's here. Chris Lawrence, co-host of the Morning News.
I can never afford to be sick.
You're not the kind of guy who really gets sick, are you? You don't look like the kind of guy who missed a lot of classes.
I'm the kind of guy that when I get sick, I transcend the situation and I just ignore it until it goes away. And that's how we roll.
That's good. That's good. Hey, I got some sporty sports stuff I want to talk to you about. But before we do that, you grew up in Tennessee. What was yesterday like for you as a Dolly Parton fan?
Oh, what a bummer. As I was telling some people around the office today, the way West Virginia natives feel about Chuck Yeager,
right,
and about Jerry West, that's how we felt about Dolly. She was ours.
Yeah, but
before we shared her with the rest of the world. And when she came up, I can remember I'm old enough to remember watching the Porter Wagner show.
Oh, yeah, we watched
kid.
it too.
Yeah.
You remember Porter Wagner, the on-air light would come on, and then he would walk down the hall with those boots?
Yes.
That's how they started every show?
Exactly. In fact, Porter Wagner played one of our anniversary shows, or our listener appreciation shows in Morgantown at the Greer Pavilion, first year I worked for the company.
But with all due respect to Colonel Yeager and the logo, they didn't look exactly like Dolly.
Not at all.
No,
not at all. Yeah,
no. They wouldn't stop a clock if
they
probably
weren't worth a second glance when compared to her.
Is that fair? Is that fair?
Yeah.
So that was that. Was there any connection between Dolly and the town you were born in Tennessee?
No. I was born in Kingsport.
Okay.
So and lived there until I was 8. But we went to when I was a kid. I mean, before I even started school, like 4 or 5 in that range, we went to Gatlinburg every weekend. My dad and mom loved to go down there and go on a picnic up in the Smokies.
Nice.
I spent a lot of my childhood traipsing around those creeks up there in the Smokies. So, and the weird thing is, at that time, Pigeon Forge, I mean, it was just miles of farmland. And then when I went to college, I couldn't believe it. I hadn't been down there in a while. And now when I go back, it doesn't even look like it did when I was in college. I mean, that place changes every 10 years. Everything that was there is gone and brought back up. I remember when Silver Dollar City was in Pigeon Forge, and Dolly bought it and turned it into Dollywood. And from what I understood, the story was the people that owned Silver Dollar City were, I think, in Branson. I think there's a Silver Dollar City in Missouri somewhere, and they own both of them. She went out to Missouri and made him an offer on it, and they balked and said, "No, I think we're going to keep it." She went, "Well, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to open one next to you and put you out of business." And they rethought the position and sold it to her, which she would have certainly done.
Coop, what do you think? Do you think in the meta settlement today is a very big story, and it's the subject of our question of the day here in a minute. But in this era of social media, do you think that Dolly Parton may be the last true celebrity that everybody liked?
I mean, it's hard to tell, but I mean, as far as what I can see, there's not many people out there that is universally well liked. It seems like anybody that had that title for a little while ended up talking too much at some point in time, and one side or another side somewhere along the lines ended up disowning them somewhere,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I can't think of anybody else that's more universally liked than what she is.
I think it's because of her upbringing. She came from nothing, and she would tell you that. I mean, she had, there's 12 kids, 6 brothers, 6 boys, 6 girls. And I love the story, and I played it this morning on the morning news that she's told many times, but I think she was telling it on some talk show, and she said they erected a statue of her in Sevierville, a bronze statue, and the Sevierville is the county seat of Sevier County where she was born, and it's still there to this day. You can go by and see it. It's right there on the courthouse square. But she was all proud of that, and she was so excited, and she told her dad, she said, "Dad, look at that. Isn't that something?" And he said, "Yes, that's something." And to all your fans, I'm sure that you're an idol to them and an icon. But to those pigeons, you're just one more outhouse. And that was the kind of thing that kept her grounded.
Well, you're a big celebrity when the networks scramble and they all go into prime time specials about your life.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the one on ABC last night.
Well, there's more of them tonight, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah. I think NBC was doing one tonight.
You're talking about her dad. She told a story that was on ABC last night about how her dad was really tickled when the kids would refer to Dolly as the book lady.
Yeah.
Coop,
I heard her say that her dad, who never had the opportunity to become educated but was a very smart man,
right,
told her of all the things that she had done, that was the greatest thing that she had done was the Imagination Library. So I saw today, too, somebody posted it, and I guess it's real. She had sent a letter to John Ward, who was the voice of the Vols,
forever
upon his retirement. And she said, "I know when we're on the road, so-and-so and so-and-so are always listening to you call the games." And she said, "I understand you enjoy gardening. If you get bored in retirement, I think I can get you on the gardening crew at Dollywood. I know a few people over there and got some pull. So
yeah, some of these notes. There was one that yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you see the one where Eminem posted the note
Yeah.
that Dolly sent to Eminem?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
that is old school Southern right
it
there.
really is.
There's a note about everything, and that's my mother was like that.
One
and
thing
my sister's like
one
that.
thing that these notes and all these different things that she was engaging with as people were starting to share a little bit of this stuff is just how engaged and how incredibly smart she must have been. I mean, she knew a little bit about everybody. I mean, it's not like that she was like in retirement just doing like her philanthropy work and doing things like, I mean, she was involved in pop culture, knew like what was up and coming and things like that. Pretty impressive, honestly. I mean, when you think about it.
She started at a radio on a radio show. Everybody thinks Porter Wagner is where she got her start. Really, she got her start on this show called the Midday Merry-Go-Round on WNOX Radio in Knoxville in the 60s. And that show, and there was another show on Channel 10 in Knoxville, the Kaz Walker Show. And I don't know how many people listening know who Kaz Walker was. He was from Knoxville. He was a politician, but also a businessman. And he owned a chain of grocery stores. And there were a couple of them in where I grew up. There was one in Pennington and one in Appalachia. And Kaz Walker was like the discount place to get your groceries for those towns that didn't have a Kroger or something like that. You know, those bougie stores. You go to Kaz Walker.
All right.
You know, but and he was a character in and of himself. Dolly was certainly not the only entertainment on the Kaz Walker show. And if you don't believe me, go to YouTube and look up Kaz Walker. It's hysterical.
You know who got the short shift today? Tim Curry. Did you see that, Coop? Where Tim Curry's died.
Yeah.
He was also 80.
Yeah.
He was also 80. So that always happens in these
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 periods,
periods, right?
Get lost in the
They get lost in the shuffle. It's kind of like the Farrah Fawcett thing. She died the same day that Michael Jackson died.
Yeah.
So,
don't necessarily get the credit and the tribute that they deserve.
No, absolutely not. Well, you and I were talking about this right before we went on the air, talking about football. You've got issues with your spot charts. You got spot chart issues, and you know what? That is a tale as old as time itself, right?
Old as radio play-by-play.
Yeah,
anyway.
because we're beginning the season. Your first game is tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
That's what I've been doing for the last hour and a half is working on those. And it's tough for the first game because, number one, your coaches don't have it all set up yet. They've not, or at least they're not to the point that it's on paper and they can hand it to you and goes, here's who's starting.
Right.
So you got to kind of guess. And then you'll have coaches give you a chart that's just got names and no numbers. And you go, can I have a roster? And they'll go, oh, yeah, here's our roster. Can I have a roster that has accurate numbers and names? Because 4 of the guys you got starting are not on your roster. Did you sign them at the deadline, or what was the deal? I was teasing some of them about that today.
Well, isn't it? Would you agree with this? That as all 3 of us have done games, that we sometimes judge people by the quality of their spot charts. I know I do. If I see a spot chart that is less than stellar, I judge that person before I even hear them call a game.
I don't know if I necessarily do that because, as Fred Persinger once told me, the only person that's got to understand what that chart says is you.
Now, that is true.
Yeah.
That is absolutely. Yeah, what's that mean? Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I know what it means.
I didn't do it for you. I did it for me.
Yeah.
Having said that, though, the most detailed spot chart I have ever seen is Caridi's.
Oh, really?
Oh, and he was, even before the days of Chat GPT and ability to go online, he would go through those, he would pore over those media guides and just pull out nuggets of information just in the off season, and then he would have it on his chart. And I was like, why do you do all that? And he goes, so when that left tackle goes down in the third quarter and they bring in the third string guy who's not played yet, I'll be able to say that he graduated from a high school and his dad owns the biggest hog farm in Iowa. Stuff like that, just to make the broadcast. And I took that to heart, and I thought, details matter in a broadcast.
Woody Durham would always, when he would do games for Carolina for decades, one of the things he always had, which I'd never seen anybody else do, and then I started kind of following this, he would always have the player's birthday. If the player was going to have a birthday, if they had celebrated a birthday like the week before the game or a couple of days after the game, that was in the chart.
Yeah,
that was in the chart.
Lanny Fratteri does that too. I got to work with him when he did the state baseball tournament, and I was on the field when he would come down to talk to some of the players the day before the game while they were taking batting practice. And he goes, all right, now what are your hobbies? And he's talking to these high school kids. He's
right.
Like, all right, so you like to play golf and you like to hunt and fish and okay, and he had the birthdays on there too.
You know what? Also, here's a sign of a good chart. When you look at a chart and you can tell that the person who did the chart has one of those golden 4 different color big pens.
Yeah,
okay?
Those are a classic.
So that's the
that was a status symbol in second grade.
Yes,
buddy.
it was,
yeah.
man. When you have the 4 color pen,
yeah,
you know that really means something. Well, so what do you need? What chart is lacking? Right now?
Typically don't chart defense, but I've decided I'm going to start doing that.
Okay,
and I just need to get a chart that I'm comfortable with, and the chart that I currently use, I think I got it from Fred Persinger II many years ago. I kind of like the way it was laid out. So I work off that as a template. I've modified it a little bit to my own self, but I can't find the defensive mate to that. And it can't. I think there is a website somewhere that some guy who is, geeking out about this kind of stuff like you and I do, has charts that are free for the download.
Now this is a business. There are a couple of guys who do this, and there used to be. I think it's just either called scoresheet.org and there's so many varieties.
Right.
So many varieties. When I got a chance to be a little closer to Major League Baseball before I came back home to do this show, I got a chance to look at the score books of many of the best Major League Baseball play-by-play announcers, and a couple of these dudes are like next level.
Oh yeah,
just next level. And there's a great story about Phil Rizzuto, and he would only do like the first 7 games for the Yankees. Then he would cross the bridge. He would make sure he got ahead of the traffic.
Yeah.
He would only do so many innings, and you would look down on his score sheet, and there would be like a WW. Like somebody finally asked him, it's like, what's WW? And it wasn't watching.
Wow. How about that?
So, Coop, we got the first high school sports line tonight, right? Is that the first one tonight?
Yeah,
Yes.
as far as I know.
So that's like 2 hours, not exclusively high school football, but it'll be like 95%.
Yeah, I
high
think
school
they got.
football.
I think they got some golf talk and some maybe some soccer talk on there.
Yeah.
All fall sports.
Coop,
So.
I made an executive decision on the show today. Hope it's okay.
What is it?
It's okay.
Maybe.
Well, we've had some people not make slot today.
True. Yeah. I've heard
So
that.
with about an hour before I had to come down to the station today, I decided, let's do some college football picks. So I've got my college football picks written for week 0, and you don't know this yet, but you'll be critiquing my picks, and Jack Carlson will be coming in from the newsroom. He will also – now, I didn't do all the games in week 0 because we talked about some of the games on Monday, and the slate is not great. Not great, but I think I got 4 games. Now, normally we're going to do 6, but this week I did 4, but we're going to do that at 4 o'clock.
Speaking of week 0, I got one of your trivia questions yesterday.
Which one?
The one when did the Mountaineers play Nebraska in the kickoff classic?
Yeah, that's right.
I remember because that was the year that WVU previously had played for the national championship and got beat, and of course Nebraska.
Well, they didn't play for the national championship.
Well,
in
they
93.
should have because they were in
the Sugar Bowl against.
Had they won, there would
Florida.
have been a case to have been made. But I think Nebraska was the champion in '93, weren't they?
Yes.
And this supposedly pitted the two teams together that everybody thought should have been. But of course, Nebraska had reloaded and WVU had graduated everybody, and it was
still had
far
Sauerbrunn.
different. Well, when your punter's your best player, you've got some issues. When Hang Time's putting 90 on him, that's a great story, a footnote to the story. So.
It's true. Yeah, I went to that game. That wasn't a real pleasant afternoon.
No, I watched it from the radio station because
Tommy Frazier is still running. He just went right out the stadium, right to the parking lot, and right into the College Football Hall of Fame.
If I'm not mistaken, was that Chad Johnston's first game?
Ooh, now see, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't have enough hard drive space to remember the starting QB in 94.
I think I remember that. I think he was the starter, and that might have been his first game because he was the first native West Virginia quarterback we'd had in forever.
So maybe going back to what, like Danny Williams, maybe at DuPont. That would be like that'd be 75. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what you guys talk about on this show. Isn't
I
it?
know,
You know,
I know, but I wasn't prepared. I was prepared for like breaking down the TCU North Carolina game. I wasn't prepared for like the starting WVU quarterback in '94 when they got shut out. At Nebraska against Nebraska.
I just come in here because you need help, and I come in and I throw out the same kind of stuff I do when we're having an off-air conversation.
Hey, before you take off, I got a question for you.
All right.
And this is Coop, cover your ears because I'm going to be asking you the same question later. You're a grits guy, right? You like grits.
You
eat grits.
You mean the breakfast grits?
Yes.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
Are you a cheese grits guy or you are a non-cheese grits guy?
I don't hate cheese grits. I'll eat them. But generally I order mine plain, blank slate, and I put butter in them.
There you go. That's the way I like them.
I don't necessarily dislike cheese grits. I've eaten them, and they're good.
Now, see, this question is going to be coming up for Coop in the next hour. How do you think he's going to answer it?
I think Coop would like cheese grits.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He's funny.
I don't know. I ordered shrimp and grits when I was in Savannah.
Oh, and that's where to get it
last year.
That's
and
where to get it.
And they brought them out, and I think they brought up head cheese. I would eat that as my death row meal. It was so good.
All right. Coop, you can continue listening to the show now.
What?
There you
Has
go.
the show started?
The show. Speaking of that, here's Jeff Jenkins. He's got some news headlines for us. Jeff, what's going on in West Virginia today?
So the Lottery Commission today did approve the financing deal between the Greenbrier Resort financing deal, right? Kennedy Lewis and the Justice family. They had to do that in order for the casino to continue to operate under the new financing deal. So they did that. There was information given by Steve Ruby today, the Greenbrier attorney, about the deal. We learned a few more facts about it. That's the lead story. WVMetroNews.com.
What's the story about lightning damage at Jaeger? What's going on with that?
That was during the storm, the August 16th storm, right? That Fayette County, Kanawha County got a lot of damage out of, and Jaeger got some water damage, but also got some lightning damage. And we were at their board meeting today, and we have a little update on that.
It's at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Jeff, thank you.
Okay.
Chris, you the man.
I got you started. Try to keep it together till 6.
We'll do what we can.
Keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down, okay?
Let's take a break. We're back in a minute.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kids.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart, only on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die, and that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
You I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. Change on the way for our temperatures. Tuesday, Charleston got down to 53 for a low, 10 degrees below average, but quickly returning to overnight lows in the mid-60s as early as tonight. We'll then stay there consistently by Monday morning, starting off around 70, topping off in the 90s. So summer heat is making a comeback. One widespread round of thunderstorms Thursday afternoon, evening, into the overnight hours with a marginal risk for some damaging winds and large hail. Also locally heavy rainfall from Charleston toward Elkins and south of that line. We may see some localized flash flooding. Widespread accumulation, not much beyond that 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be all about where we could see some stubborn thunderstorms with low, slow movement, bringing some heavy rain over the same areas. Overnight, the storms in Ohio fall apart before they make it much into West Virginia. Then we will be seeing from Thursday afternoon into the evening, northwest to southeast movement of those thunderstorms ahead of a cold front. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. That same system will bring some storms if you're traveling toward D.C. and New York, but then high pressure quiets things down for those areas, including here at home over the weekend. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast. No more 50-degree lows even in the cooler areas. Mid-60s looking north overnight, then low to mid-80s here on Thursday. Looking toward Martinsburg to stay at 67 for a low, then close to 90 for a high Thursday, reaching 90 toward Petersburg and Moorfield. Even Snowshoe, 59 is the low temperature, then 75 there on Thursday, but 80s are common elsewhere. We'll see 61 for Marlinton, then Huntington at 66, closer to 90 for Huntington Thursday, Marlinton at 83. Over the weekend, trending quiet and hot.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I love the state of West Virginia. I've met some of my best friends. I'm excited to be back. I still have my pickup truck. I still have four-wheel drive. One of the ladies asked me in the forum if I know how to drive in the snow. I told her, oh yeah, I spent 5 years in Elkins.
See, that's one of those things. Now that you're coming to Fairmont, you've handled the Elkins winter.
Yeah,
this
you can handle Randolph County.
I mean, you're moving. This is basically coming back to Florida here when you get to Fairmont. I mean, this is easy.
It's going to be a breeze.
Sportsline on Metro News Television. If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
Gentlemen, I could not care less if you read this message. All right, moving on to the next one. 304 Talk 304. Well, they said it, not me.
Oh, that's terrible. Read the guy's phone.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
All right, welcome back. 26 till Metro News Hotline. Here until 6 o'clock. We'll get into the sound of sports in just a moment. A little later on in the half hour, Jeff Erickson from RotoWire is going to join us. Coop, I've got a massive fantasy football draft tomorrow night. So I'm kind of on edge. So just be aware. Might be a bumpy ride today. Could be a bumpy ride. At 4 o'clock, we'll do some football picks. 4:30, we got a pick me segment, a pick one segment. And 5 o'clock, Ryan Decker is leaving WBOI in Clarksburg and the Golden Blue Nation report. I wasn't aware of this until I saw him post this on social media yesterday. So he's going to come by. That'll be at 5 o'clock. Talk about his favorite stories over the years covering the Mountaineers, what he thinks about football at WVU this year, and where he's going next. So I was always a big fan of his work. So we're going to do that. That'll be at the top of the 5. We'll play in or out. That'll be at 5:25. Davis Shultz, Locked on Sunbelt, is going to be on the program at 5:33. Tony Caridi normally fills that spot every Wednesday at 5:33. He's out of the box today. We'll get a visit from Tony tomorrow at 4:33. So I put David Shultz in there from Locked on Sunbelt. And one of the things I want to talk to him about is matchups that teams from the Sun Belt have this season against Power 4 opponents. The majority of them on the road. For example, Marshall playing at Penn State a week from Saturday. But there is also a situation where once we get into the season, Georgia Southern is actually going to host Houston. So we're going to talk a little bit about matchups between the Sun Belt and teams from the Power 4. We will do that. That'll be at 5:33 this afternoon. Question of the day, and it is sponsored by Salango Law. The big story today, nationally, maybe internationally, is the historic $17 billion settlement between Meta and multiple states, centering on teen social media usage limits, night blocks, and just overall digital well-being. So here's the question of the day, and it's sponsored by Salango Law. If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? All right? Instead of like doom scrolling constantly, what would you do with all that free time if there was a 2-hour limit? If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? So send me a text on that, 304-TALK, 304-825-5304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY, one word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. All right, let's get into the sound of sports, and we will start with college football. We've got Week 0 games this weekend, believe it or not. For the Mountaineers, WVU kicks off the season a week from Saturday against Coastal Carolina. Rich Rodriguez had a press availability last night, and he had this update on what's the latest on his group as the first game quickly approaches.
No, we do a mock game on Friday. I always do it 8 days before the first game, irregardless of what the schedule was, just to get used to the sidelines and how we're going to, substitute in the game and the situations and all that. It's, it takes about an hour. It's all scripted, so it's not anything that's going to be, that we'll make aware of something. But if we're not ready in a particular phase or we're not paying attention to a particular situation, that'll stand out. But we'll do that on Friday, and we'll obviously start on Coastal stuff already this week. And then after Friday, it goes back to game week.
All right, Marshall opens on the road at Penn State a week from Saturday. Matt Campbell And the new-look Nittany Lions are currently 24-point favorites over the Herd. Here's Campbell on the preseason progress they're making in Happy Valley.
We can script all this stuff in practice we want, but to do it in front of 110,000 people, to have real adversity, to have to lead through it and fight through it, all those check marks are just a check mark. It's just another step closer to preparing yourself to learn and grow. And I wish I could sit here and tell you we're going to be perfect on Saturdays. We know that. I know that's not true. How we respond to imperfect will define who we become. And I do think we're a closer football team to be ready to respond to those adversities than we were at the start of this.
All right, there you go. We'll hear more about the Sun Belt and their matchups against Power 4 teams at 5:33 today. And speaking of Penn State, Drew Aller's expected to get plenty of snaps for the Steelers tomorrow night in Buffalo. Aller played well against the Packers, but struggled at times against the Jets. Here's Aller with an assessment of his first NFL camp.
Yeah, I think just building off success and learning from mistakes that I have made and just continuing to show improvement with operation and just how I'm handling the procedures and everything like that in operations. So I think just building off the things that I've done well and then also just correcting the things that I've messed up on or slipped up on.
All right, baseball now. The Dirty Birds opened a home series with Lancaster last night with a 7-5 Atlantic League win at Gomart Ballpark. The Dirty Birds ran wild on the bases. They stole 6 of them. Dirty Birds lead the league with 288 steals so far this season. This series continues tonight here in Charleston. From the big leagues last night in San Diego, the Pirates topped the Padres 1-0. O'Neal Cruz hit the first homer allowed by Mason Miller in over a year with 2 outs in the 9th inning to produce the game's only run. All right, so take my word for it. O'Neal Cruz put a charge in that one and sent it over the wall in right field. So the Pirates' Paul Skeens pitched 6 innings, a 3-hit ball, and a solid rebound start. Here's Skeens after the game.
Maybe a little bit. I think execution was just better today than it was last outing, so that's pretty much it.
Paul, you pitched ahead a whole bunch tonight. Just how important was that?
I mean, yeah, it's always important. It's a lot harder to pitch well when you're behind in the count. So had really good execution, pre-2 strikes today.
All right, there you go. So it was a nice bounce back for Skeens, who had gone 0 for 3 with a 6.46 ERA in his past 5 starts before last night. Bubba Chandler goes this afternoon for the Bucs in arguably the biggest start of his young career. In San Francisco, the Giants beat the Reds 3-1. Cincinnati's dropped the first 2 games of this series by the Bay. Rafael Devers hit his 28th homer, a drive that bounced into the McCovey Cove in the 5th inning.
Devers at the plate. Devers a home run last night, is 27th. High drive to right. It is out of here. Number 28. And that is one that if that doesn't remind you of Barry Bonds, I don't know what is. It sure did.
Devers has homered in 3 of his last 5 games. That shot last night was his 16th homer at Oracle Park this year, the most by a Giant since Barry Bonds 19 years ago. Sal Stewart scored the Reds' first run in 23 innings with a 9th inning homer last night, his 28th. Here's Terry Francona on the loss and the lack of offense by the Reds.
It's like we get in the mode where I think we're trying to hit everything. The kid that came in threw his fastball to both sides of the plate, and then we started chasing the changeup. And, we're going to have to, when I say stubborn, I don't mean stubborn in a way we got to know what we want to do and stick to the plan and start trying to hit everything, and then we get ourselves in trouble.
The Reds lefty Nick Lodolo goes this afternoon against the Giants as the Reds try to avoid a sweep in this series. In St. Louis, the Orioles pounded the Cardinals 13-1 last night. The O's have won 3 of 4. The Birds' Pete Alonso had 4 hits, including a 3-run homer. He drove in 4. The Cards have lost 4 straight. The Polar Bear put the O's in front with a 435-foot shot in the 3rd inning.
It sets up quite nicely for the man who's got the 2nd most runs batted in the American League. Here comes Pete Alonso.
And another 3-2 pitch coming. And he jolts that one out to deep left field. You can forget that. That ball is long gone. An absolute no-doubter from Pete Alonso. His 31st of the year is a 3-run blast.
Well, Pete, the Orioles didn't get it done in the 1st inning. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. We said, what more could you want right here? than to get this guy up in this situation.
Concern for Baltimore. Alonso, who has been dealing with a nagging calf injury, left shortly after his fourth hit last night. An RBI double in the O's 8-run fifth to build a double-digit lead. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some fantasy football when we return.
Metro News Hotline, brought to you by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
I'm Scarlett Johansson.
This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart, the Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George Breyer Field. Watch live on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. Bearcats versus Colts. Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. The Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
All right, welcome back to the show. You know, we got a lot of afternoon baseball to keep our eyes on. The Reds and the Giants underway now. Top of the first inning in the City by the Bay. Man, we already have a final. The Rays took care of business pretty quickly today in Detroit. They held the Tigers to just 2 hits, and Tampa Bay wins that game 3-0. The Pirates game this afternoon in San Diego is a 4:10 start with Bubba Chandler on the mound as the Buccos go for the sweep. This has been a crazy road trip where they were swept in L.A. by the Dodgers, and then in a game they normally would lose, last night they managed to win 1-0 against the Padres. O'Neal Cruz with a home run in the 9th inning in that particular game. Coop, did you say we had problems with Jeff Erickson? Was he? What was he? He had to maybe lay down and have a little bit of a nap with the news about Chase for the Bengals. Is that what happened?
No, I just had to read out the number.
How you doing today, Jeff?
Doing well. I'm on my way to Las Vegas. Our partners at Circus Sportsbook and Casino in Vegas, they do this Survivor contest every year and a Pick'em contest every year. And they have a bunch of people come out to their radio row and talk about it, talk fantasy football, talk football.
Okay.
And I've been going here 4 years in a row now, so looking forward to this trip.
Sounds good. So, as a Bengals fan, are you concerned about the Jamar Chase thing, or is this just, maybe they avoided a big injury yesterday?
Seems like the latter. Seems like they're downplaying it. Didn't practice today. But they also suggested he could have if they wanted to push it. No need to push it. We had the longest training camp in NFL history. The season doesn't start for most teams until September 13th, I believe. It's a later start for most teams, so you have the luxury of time. Won't play in the final preseason game. They never do anyhow. And then you have a couple of weeks. So get well.
You know, a really interesting article at RotoWire about running backs to fade in drafts this year, and I wanted to just go through. I'm not going to do the whole list, but just a couple of names here. I thought this was interesting that Kenneth Walker from the Chiefs is on this list. I mean, the mental picture we have of him is being a Super Bowl MVP for Seattle. He's on this list to fade. What's your take on that?
Well, the theory of the case is twofold. One, the regular season last year wasn't so great for Kenneth Walker. He finished strong last couple of weeks, but keep in mind he was firmly in a timeshare with Zach Charbonnet. He had explosive runs, and that was great, and that's what the Chiefs really need. But the down-to-down wasn't necessarily always so great. I think there's a little concern about maybe him being able to handle a full-time role. He's missed a number of games over his career, and I think if the Chiefs lean too heavily on him, I think that's an issue. The other issue is that offensive line. I don't think it's the best run-blocking line. I think it's lesser of an offensive line than Seattle had last year.
Coop, you can address this. I mean, you're West Virginia's best-known Seattle Seahawks fan. Walker really wasn't a workhorse, right? I mean, he was always sharing carries. This RotoWire article points out he's never carried the ball more than 228 times in a season.
He was injured his entire career with Seattle for the most part, either nagging injuries or being out for portions of seasons or whatever it was. I'm kind of disappointed because he was one of those guys I was always looking forward to. I was like, wait till he's healthy for a whole season and see what happens or whatever. Yeah. But even last year, he was splitting carries and didn't become a feature back until injuries made him one in the playoffs. So people kind of forget that, I think, a little bit about the Seahawks with this. I'm not sure what that's going to mean to them overall, but it's not like losing their full-on feature back.
Jeff, you've also got Breece Hall on this list. Breece Hall of the Jets. Why should people who have fantasy drafts fade Breece Hall?
I'd argue take the discount on Breece Hall would be my argument there.
Okay.
Don't pay up third-round prices for Breece Hall. He's already got a groin injury. We know the Jets' offense isn't going to be strong. I know last year they messed with the timeshare a lot with Braylon Allen, and I think that's a little bit of a concern. I'm not quite as pessimistic as the article in this case, but in many cases, Breece Hall's falling to the end of the fourth round in 12-team leagues. If that's the case, and I happen to need a running back, I'm ready to click on him. But I need that discount.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point that this article does make. His ADP is 39, and he's the 16th best running back on the board. I mean, if he's there at number 16, I don't really see that as that bad of a bet.
Right, exactly. He and Jeremiah Love are I kind of pair those two guys together as guys that have fallen a little bit because of training camp news. But at the same time, I don't mind getting him there as my second running back, or even if I've got an aggressive three-receiver build to start off with there, starting to take running backs in that spot.
Hey, Jeff, let me ask you, how deep is the tight end pool for this year's fantasy football draft? I mean, there's a lot of theories on should you grab a tight end early or you can always grab a tight end later. I guess it depends on the way your league is laid out. But tell me about the strength of tight ends. Is it a deep pool this year?
It's a great question because every year we want to say, oh, it's as deep as ever. And then we get to week 8, like, do I have to start this guy?
Right.
That 2 touchdowns and gets 40 yards a game. Okay, maybe. You're just trying to play the touchdown lotto. There are some intriguing later tight end options, but they're intriguing. They're not guarantees by any stretch. I often like to wait on tight ends just because that means more running backs and receivers, and you got the injury luck with those positions. But what I'll do, Dave, is I won't get both an early quarterback and an early tight end. I'll get one or the other. So say if I get Joe Burrow, I'm not going to get an early tight end. But if I've got Colson Loveland, I'm going to wait to get the likes of Brock Purdy as my quarterback.
Hey, Jeff, are you now? How many drafts have you done already this year? Do you think?
Too many to count.
Too many to count.
Over 20.
All right. Are you the guy that always is the first person to take a defense or a kicker?
No, I don't mind it. I think, especially, I don't mind taking Brandon Aubrey. I do think he is a gradation difference over the kicker pool. But kickers are better than ever now, so especially with the new kicker ball, we'll see if they ever change that. But it's really made these long-distance field goals more viable. But in round 13, and like the NFFC, you have 20-round drafts. That's a lot of players to stash. If a kicker is still available in round 13, if Aubrey's still there, I don't mind taking him. I think there's 1 or 2 kickers that make a difference. And then there's probably about 4 defenses that make a difference. I won't get caught. If I miss out on those top ones, I'll wait to the very end.
All right, got about 45 seconds here, but I also wanted to ask you this about draft strategy. Do you think that most fantasy football participants take quarterbacks too early?
Not anymore. And in fact, I think, first of all, I think fantasy football drafters are sharper than they've ever been. There's more and more information outlets out there. You can just, stream all the time, on YouTube or read RotoWire or anything else. And they preach quarterbacks, waiting on quarterbacks. But also, just you look at the draft results, and I see Josh Allen going kind of early, like the 3rd round, but never in the 1st or 2nd round anymore. It's almost always much later. So I think the rooms have gotten sharper.
All right. Well, listen, have a safe trip out to Vegas, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks for coming on the show.
You bet. Take care.
All right, Jeff Erickson, senior editor at RotoWire. Let's take a break, and we'll wrap the first hour in just a moment.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniels Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week powered by GoMart, the Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George Breyer Field. Watch live on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. Bearcats versus Colts. Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. The Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. Being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
Pediatric Association Foundation.
All right, that's it for the first hour. We'll take a break for news at the top. When we come back, we'll take a look at what happened today on Wall Street, and we're bracing for NVIDIA earnings after the bell. We'll reset our question of the day about today's $17 billion Meta settlement, and we'll make some college football picks. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. Change on the way for our temperatures. Tuesday, Charleston got down to 53 for a low, 10 degrees below average, but quickly returning to overnight lows in the mid-60s as early as tonight. We'll then stay there consistently by Monday morning, starting off around 70, topping off in the 90s. So summer heat is making a comeback. One widespread round of thunderstorms Thursday afternoon, evening into the overnight hours with a marginal risk for some damaging winds and large hail. Also locally heavy rainfall from Charleston toward Elkins and south of that line. We may see some localized flash flooding. Widespread accumulation, not much beyond that 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be all about where we could see some stubborn thunderstorms with low, slow movement, bringing some heavy rain over the same areas. Overnight, the storms in Ohio fall apart before they make it much into West Virginia. Then we will be seeing from Thursday afternoon into the evening, northwest to southeast movement of those thunderstorms ahead of a cold front. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. That same system will bring some storms if you're traveling toward D.C. and New York, but then high pressure quiets things down for those areas, including here at home over the weekend. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast. No more 50-degree lows even in the cooler areas. Mid-60s looking north overnight, then low to mid-80s here on Thursday. Looking toward Martinsburg to stay at 67 for a low, then close to 90 for a high Thursday, reaching 90 toward Petersburg and Moorfield. Even Snowshoe, 59 is the low temperature, then 75 there on Thursday, but 80s are common elsewhere. We'll see 61 for Marlinton, then Huntington at 66, closer to 90 for Huntington Thursday, Marlinton at 83. Over the weekend, trending quiet and hot.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour
navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more
from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no politics zone.
You can join the conversation.
Text the show at 304-825-5304.
304-TALK-304.
Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekly.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hour number 2, how do you do? Metro News Hotline, keeping you company here in West Virginia. Every weekday afternoon on the old Metro News Radio Network, beginning at 3:06 and taking you on through until 6 o'clock. Wherever you are listening to the show today, inside the state or beyond the borders, just trying to get a read on what's going on back home. We hope you're having a good day. We hope you're having a good day. Beautiful day here in Charleston. Really didn't get a chance to talk too much about that in the 3 o'clock hour. 82 degrees outside. Chamber of Commerce Day here in Charleston as we operate out of our flagship 580 WCHS right downtown in the big town, West Virginia's capital city, 1111 Virginia Street East, where we've been operating for decades. Got a lot of stuff to get into in this particular hour. We will take a peek at what happened on Wall Street today. Interesting day in the markets. Especially, we started with the news about Meta and a coalition of state attorney generals settled a major federal case centering on allegations that the social media giant misrepresented the extent of child-related mental health harms caused by apps like Facebook and Instagram. The case was brought by a group of 29 states. As part of the settlement, Meta agrees to pay a maximum of $16.7 billion. And the way the market interpreted this, a big win for Meta. A big win for Meta. Let's be honest. When you're talking about a company that, is potentially worth trillions of dollars, $16.7 billion is almost an accounting error. So the market saw this as a win today. Meta stock was up a little more than $6 a share. So we'll get into the market story. Reset our question of the day, which is about Meta. And I don't know, Coop. Are you ready for college football picks? And we didn't do week 0 last year.
Yeah.
We didn't do week 0 last year, and I just kind of felt like we need to acknowledge a couple of these games, all right? So I kind of did this on my own. Went out rogue, made some picks, so I want you to react to them, and Jack Carlson's come in to make fun of me as well on these picks. So we'll do 4 games, Jack. Is that okay?
What is it we're
totally
doing?
fine with that.
So you're just making the picks, and then we're like harassing you over it?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. Because when I sat down to do the segment, it was too late to contact you guys. You guys are busy. You got radio stuff you're doing. I'm just here doing the talky talk.
Yeah, I probably couldn't name a single player on any of the teams.
No,
that's
this
week.
That's the rub.
Yeah.
Nobody can.
Yeah.
Nobody can. All right, so we'll do that. We've got the entertainment report coming at 4:25. 4:33, we'll play Pick 1. Abra Wahidi is out of the box today. She'll be back soon for another tech news segment. But we'll do a tech news segment at 4:33 today. Then we'll get into the on the state file, the 5 things to know at 5 o'clock. Pirates are playing this afternoon. Reds are playing this afternoon. We'll keep you updated on that. 5 o'clock hour, Ron Decker from Channel 12 in Clarksburg, the Golden Blue Nation report. He is leaving there, so I just wanted to get him on the air, talk a little bit about some of his favorite stories, covering the Mountaineers, what he thinks about this year's team, and where he's going next. So we'll do that. That'll be at 5 o'clock. Also, 5:33 on Wednesday is normally when we have Tony Caridi on. He's out of the box today. He'll be on tomorrow at 4:30. But so we're going to get David Shultz from Locked On Sunbelt on with us at 5:33. Marshall opens the season at Penn State. And there's a host of Sunbelt teams that are playing teams from the Power 4 conferences. And most of them, the vast majority of them, on the road. So we're going to handicap a couple of those games. We'll do that at 5:33 and have more of your responses to our question of the day. All right, let's get into what happened in the financial markets today. And we will start with the Dow, which was down but not much, 0.2%. Lost 113 points today, 53,463 at the close. S&P 500 was flat, down just a little more than 1 point, 76.75 at the close. NASDAQ also flat today, down just 21 points, 26,130 at the close. The big story's NVIDIA. The world's most valuable company is reporting after the bell, and it's going to set the tone for the rest of the week. We'll let you know the numbers when we get them. Among stocks of local interest to West Virginia that were big percentage gainers or losers today, Caterpillar up 1.5%, gained $12.54. 823.83 at the close today. DuPont was up 1.5%, gained $2, $138.08 per share. Google was down 1.4%, lost $4.87, $342.09 at the close. In the energy space today, oil down 0.5%, lost 40 cents. WTI on the NYMEX closed at $81.96. Natural gas up at the moment 3.3%. Gaining 9 cents, $2.86 per unit. Bitcoin today. Bitcoin's been on a roll. It's holding its gains here, up, but just slightly, up a little more than $260 per coin, going at $78,455. And in the precious metals segment, what a run gold's been on. A little profit taking today. Gold was down 1.4%, losing almost $65 an ounce, closing at $4,613. Silver down, but not quite as much, down 0.7%, losing 51 cents today at $68.88 per ounce. Here's our question of the day. Question of the day. The $1 billion Meta settlement with states announced today centered on teen social media usage limits. So the question of the day, and it's sponsored by Solango Law, if you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? To respond, you can text those in 304-TALK 304, 304-8255 304. I'm on X at Weekly, WEEKLEY. One word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. All right, Jody responds on X. He says, Dave, hopefully be more productive or take a nap. And Toddster responds this way, well, I'm not on social media for 2 hours. That's a fair response as well. All right, Coop, let's get maybe against my better judgment. By the way, we're charting these picks.
Oh, you are?
We are going to be charting these picks.
I was always too lazy to do that in the past.
Yeah, well, we're charting these picks, starting with week 0.
I was always hoping a hashtag 180 would be like, hey, I'll keep it for you, Coop. And be like, oh, great, so I don't have to.
No, we're going to chart these picks. We have a theme, don't we? We have theme music for this.
Man, I don't know. Man, we have a theme music for everything.
Well, let me just let me just do the intro.
No, that's not
it. Let me just do the intro, and maybe it'll come to you.
All right.
You know? All right, so here we go. That's definitely not it. Bringing back an oldie but a goodie to the show today. In the early days of Hotline, I would pick. Now that sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Maybe I had it.
Yeah, maybe you did have it. In the early days of Hotline, I would pick 5 or sometimes 6 college games against the lines, complete with reasoning and statistical trends to back up the picks. But now that sports gambling is legal, everybody started doing that. So when the show went in a different direction, I thought we would start bringing something back similar for this season. So with Coop, and today Jack Carlson, we will kick around some of the biggest games of the weekend and make picks against the line. So it's time once again for our non-guaranteed 5-star Platinum Club, worth exactly what you paid for them, football picks. Guys, our first game is North Carolina and TCU. They're going to play in Dublin. Jack, do you have a thought about this game before I begin?
I'm hoping that no parent of a quarterback on either team punches anyone, which is what happened last year.
That's
Iowa
true.
State against Kansas State. Avery Johnson, quarterback at Kansas State, his father, got into a fight. I want to say with the brother. Is that right?
I think that's right.
You have to fact check me on that. But I'm hoping that there are no punches thrown after this one. I'm a huge fan of the Ireland Classic, and this game's going to be a really great one for me.
I remember my first beer. Oh, yeah. So, North Carolina and TCU. It's a rematch. TCU pummeled North Carolina in Chapel Hill 48-14 last season. They outgained the Heels 542 yards to 222. The Frogs outrushed Carolina 258-50. So that's a big area where North Carolina must improve. Both teams, new quarterbacks. Harvard transfer Jaden Craig takes over for TCU. Wisconsin transfer Billy Edwards Jr. has been named the starter at North Carolina. New look offenses. Bobby Petrino. He's the OC at North Carolina now. TCU also has a new offensive system under Gordon Samus. So this game kicks off at noon on Saturday. 2 new quarterbacks, 2 new offensive systems. They're playing on a different continent. I'm saying the play is the under. I like the under, 47.5, and maybe a slight play on TCU, maybe at 7.5. But I think the under is the way to go here, North Carolina and TCU. Coop, a thought before we go on?
Just a couple. What is exactly the North Carolina mascot?
It's the Ram, the Tar Heel.
And there's some guy with a hat. There's some guy with a hat too. I don't know. I was just looking at some stuff on Carolina. The other thing is
maybe you're thinking of that beanie on the Wolfpack mascot.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of the Tar Heels.
Okay.
What's the deal with Jordan Hudson? Is she going to play for Belichick, or what's the deal with that?
I tell you what, if
that's
she
not
is,
as big as a story so
now
far
that's
this
a
year.
game I can get behind if she's going to be in this game.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. So I pick the Tar Heels because of Jordan Hudson.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, staying in the ACC, I guess. North Carolina State at UVA. Now, this game was supposed to be played in Rio de Janeiro, but that got scrapped for whatever reason. So Virginia gets the unexpected advantage of playing this game at home. They're in Charlottesville, and they're a 5.5-point favorite. Wolfpack, C.J. Bailey. Really like him. Liked him last year. Threw for over 3,100 yards, 25 touchdown passes. He can run, too. He's kind of a dark horse candidate for the ACC Player of the Year. Now, the Cavaliers, they have Bo Prabula, who played at Penn State, actually played against WVU in the past. He was at Missouri last year. They really thought things were going to work out. He looked good in the non-con. Once they started getting into SEC play, it really just did not work out for him. SEC defenses held him to just 4 touchdowns against 8 interceptions last year. But he's back, and, you know, we know him from Penn State. He can run a little bit. He can throw a little bit. My thing, though, is Virginia they've had to make all kinds of changes on the defensive side of the ball. This is a very interesting game. I think West Virginia fans are going to be watching this game because UVA and WVU are going to be playing in Charlotte in a couple of weeks. You know what? 5.5 in a game like this, I'm taking the points. I just kind of feel like we don't know who's on these teams. If you're going to give me almost a touchdown, I'm going to take it. I like the Pack, and give me the 5.5. Jack, you got any thoughts on NC State and UVA?
That's going to be an interesting game, Dave. I'm wondering, is it a conference game? Because they do all these weird things nowadays, whether they play week 1 and it's not a conference game. I'll admit I'm not a fan of if you're playing a non-conference game when it is a conference opponent. West Virginia basketball is going to have that in Vegas this year with the Players Era. I don't know how I feel about that.
All right, my research does not go that deep on whether or not this is a conference game. Coop, have you got a thought on the Pack and the Wahoos?
Yeah, just a brief one. The last thing that George Lucas taught me before he handed over the reins of the Star Wars franchise was that you are basically you cannot be defeated if you have the high ground. Virginia literally sits on top of North Carolina physically on the map. They have the high ground. I'm going to have to take. I'll have to take Virginia in this contest.
That's about as fair as I can say. I like that.
I think so.
All right, New Mexico State at Florida State. Is there anybody who is on a hotter seat than Mike Norvell? I mean, his seat is burning up. But the one thing he can do, man, is hammer bad teams. He loves to put his foot down early. I mean, they beat East Texas A&M, whatever they are, 77-3. Kent State 66-10 last year. 2 years ago, they beat Southern Miss 66-13. North Alabama 58-13. They pummeled Duquesne like 6 years ago. So when he gets a chance to put his foot on the neck, he's going to do it. Okay, New Mexico State has a pretty decent defense, or they have in the last couple of years, but their offense can't score. I don't think this game goes over, although the total's been coming back a little bit at 53.5. I say forget that, but take the Noles. Take the Noles. They're going to win this game 31-5. Does Norvell finish the season at FSU? I don't know, but they're going to win this game, and they're going to win it big. Jack, got any thoughts on Florida State?
I agree with you. His back is up against the wall right now. He's got to prove himself this year. And so I do think Florida State will show some improvement. They couldn't be worse than what they have been in the past couple of years.
That is definitely true. Coop, you got a thought on Florida State?
My only thought is that I lived sort of near. I didn't live in Las Cruces, but I lived in Albuquerque for a while. But I kind of like New Mexico, so I got to go with New Mexico.
This is New Mexico State.
Yeah, I know. Okay. That's why I didn't live in Las Cruces. I lived in Albuquerque, but I like the area. I like New Mexico as a place.
All right, all right. Finally, stop me if you've heard this story before. Charles Huff's at a new school this year.
Seriously?
Yes, he's at his third school in 3 years. He's the new coach in Memphis. They're playing at UNLV, and Dan Mullen wants to get out of UNLV and get back into the Power Four. So therein lies the rub. They play this weekend. Memphis is a dog in this game by 5.5 points. Now, Jackson Arnold, there's a lot of hype of him leaving Auburn and going to UNLV, but things haven't been really going that great in the preseason. But when push comes to shove, he's going to be the quarterback there. Charles Huff, man, say what you want about Charles Huff, and we have, frankly, but he knows how to get players. He's had the number 3 transfer class in all of the G6. Dan Mullen, he's kind of an offensive whiz. He's a little bit of a quarterback whisperer. I think he's an underrated coach. I really think he's an underrated coach. But I have to tell you, I just kind of feel like these week 1 games are just toss-ups. If you're going to give me the points, I think I'm going to – I really like the over here. 56.5. But if I had to pick one of these teams, I would maybe make a small bet on Memphis. But the line has been coming back on this game. And you know what happens when the line kind of sneaks back. Right now the line's 4.5. You want to put a couple of ducats on Memphis, that's fine. But I really like the over here, 56.5 for Memphis and UNLV. That game is on Saturday. Jack,
I see this going for UNLV one of 2 ways, Dave. Could be a gangbuster season. They could be the G5 representative in the college football playoff. Or it could be a dumpster fire.
Right.
It could be, and I think that it's a 50-50 chance of either. It could be one of the two. And I think this first game is very interesting because we don't really know a whole lot about either team. There's a lot of questions that we have about both Memphis and UNLV. I think maybe you trend a little bit towards Memphis just because of the track record, maybe for them to cover that spread.
It's not a sexy game, but this might end up being the best game of the weekend. Coop, got a thought on UNLV hosting Memphis?
My last one with this is just simply UNLV sports in general is much better when there's scandal. It seems like that in Vegas there should be some corruption and scandal going on. They need
hot tub related.
They need to get like another Tark-like guy in there to run some recruiting scams or do something, man. I mean, it's Vegas, right? And look at college. I mean, everything's legal anymore. It's all about stacking paper. It seems like Vegas should be the epicenter of the universe for this.
I like that.
Yeah, I got to take Vegas.
I like the cut of your jib on that. Jack, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. So, take that information as you will. Our non-guaranteed 5-star Platinum Club worth exactly what you paid for them. College football picks for week 0. A quick break, and we're coming back with the Entertainment Report.
Ready to make this boating season unforgettable? Head to Lou Wendell Marine Sales, family owned and operated for over 40 years and West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Lou and his sons are boating experts from sales to service to repairs. And right now, their lot is packed with incredible inventory and some of the best deals of the season. Whether it's weekends on the lake or sunset cruises with the family, Lou Wendell Marine Sales has your perfect boat waiting. Because they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com today.
Hello, I'm Shane Fisher. I'm a senior project manager at Civil and Environmental Consultants, where I'm able to lead projects that change communities and work alongside top-notch professionals. We are employee-owned, so accountability and pride fuel the work that we do. Our motto, clients first, those aren't just words, it's a promise. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
Don't forget about our podcast. Check out your favorite podcast provider or simply go to wvmetronews.com and click on the podcast link. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season. The 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart. Only on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die. And that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
To learn more.
Now, let's be honest for a second. Any U.S. president should be able to handle a few jokes, right? They should also be able to handle gas prices, health care, and the occasional international conflict. But look, y'all, I get it that some people are mad at me for goofing on Trump. But if you wanted me to make jokes about Kamala Harris, you should have voted for her. So for those who threatened to stop listening to my music based on my comments last night, I just want to say with conviction, go right ahead, because I'm going to keep speaking my truth or my name isn't Post Malone.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. State Attorney General.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. Change on the way for our temperatures. Tuesday, Charleston got down to 53 for a low, 10 degrees below average, but quickly returning to overnight lows in the mid-60s as early as tonight. We'll then stay there consistently by Monday morning, starting off around 70, topping off in the 90s. So summer heat is making a comeback. One widespread round of thunderstorms Thursday afternoon, evening into the overnight hours with a marginal risk for some damaging winds and large hail. Also locally heavy rainfall from Charleston toward Elkins and south of that line. We may see some localized flash flooding. Widespread accumulation, not much beyond that 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be all about where we could see some stubborn thunderstorms with low, slow movement, bringing some heavy rain over the same areas. Overnight, the storms in Ohio fall apart before they make it much into West Virginia. Then we will be seeing from Thursday afternoon into the evening, northwest to southeast movement of those thunderstorms ahead of a cold front. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. That same system will bring some storms if you're traveling toward D.C. and New York, but then high pressure quiets things down for those areas, including here at home over the weekend. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast. No more 50-degree lows even in the cooler areas. Mid-60s looking north overnight, then low to mid-80s here on Thursday. Looking toward Martinsburg to stay at 67 for a low, then close to 90 for a high Thursday, reaching 90 toward Petersburg and Moorfield. Even Snowshoe, 59 is the low temperature, then 75 there on Thursday, but 80s are common elsewhere. We'll see 61 for Marlinton, then Huntington at 66, closer to 90 for Huntington Thursday, Marlinton at 83. Over the weekend, trending quiet and hot.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I love the state of West Virginia. I've met some of my best friends. I'm excited to be back. I still have my pickup truck. I still have four-wheel drive. One of the ladies asked me in the forum if I know how to drive in the snow. I told her, oh yeah, I spent 5 years in Elkins.
See, that's one of those things. Now that you're coming to Fairmont, you've handled the Elkins winter.
Yeah, if you can handle Randolph County.
I mean, you're moving. This is basically coming back to Florida here when you get to Fairmont. I mean, this is easy.
It's going to be a breeze.
Sportsline on Metro News Television. If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
Gentlemen, I could not care less if you read this message. All right, moving on to the next one. 304 Talk 304. Well, they said it, not me.
Oh, that's terrible. Read the guy's phone.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. By the way, we give you the stock report every day at the top of the 4, and people were really anticipating what was going on with NVIDIA's earnings for the second quarter. They are out, and they're pretty good. Earnings per share, NVIDIA was a winner. Gross margins, the estimate was $700 million more than NVIDIA reported. But basically, the numbers are pretty good. The stock's down, but not much, down 1.3%, 1.6%. It's still trading north of $200 a share. The big story will come out when they get the conference call later. But NVIDIA's numbers, here's the thing. It's been a while since NVIDIA's stock has rocketed up after earnings. In fact, leading into this earnings reveal today, that NVIDIA stock had actually been down 5 of the last 6 quarterly reports. But the numbers are out. They're being interpreted, and the stock's trading just north of 206. All right, Coop, you ready to play some Pick 1? So let's go ahead and do it. Let's play Pick 1. In Pick 1, the rules are kind of explained in the title, and Pick 1 for each topic. 2 choices are given, and you must select one of them. Hence, you must pick one. Coop and I have 5 sets of Pick 1 topics. We have not seen each other's Pick 1 selections. There are no correct answers. There are simply opinions. Honest responses, well, they're likely to result in hurt feelings that could jeopardize our friendship and working relationship, but we're willing to risk all that. Come on, for the sake of higher ratings. Let's get started. Are you ready for Pick 1 topic number 1?
Yes, I am.
All right, Ryan Gosling.
What a handsome man.
His production company is collaborating with Warner Brothers on a new live-action Flintstones movie that will follow a grown-up Bam Bam Rubble. They're currently searching for a writer. Previous live-action adaptations of the Flintstones include 1994, The Flintstones, and the 2000s, The Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas, which combined to earn $400 million globally. So, better cartoon. The Flintstones or the Jetsons? Better cartoon, Flintstones or the Jetsons? Please pick one.
I watched both of them quite a bit as a kid. I think that I've always had there's a deeper mythology to the Flintstones. You got Gadzoo, you got the
kazoo.
Yeah, you got the lodge. You got all the sayings. Like Wilma and Betty when they would take off and they would talk about charge it.
Right.
So they talk about the credit cards and stuff and there was just a better gimmick. Like I think that the Flintstones generally was a better gimmick, and it was basically an animated version of the Honeymooners. Which obviously is a classic comedy and is great. I'm looking forward to the Jetsons project that's coming up. I think that has some real potential to be pretty good. I think that we can do some stuff with that. But honestly, I got to tell you that if we're going to be mining this kind of stuff and making these movies anyway, like an adult Bam Bam doesn't sound like the worst idea, frankly. I mean, I'm not going to bang down the door for it, but if somebody's rolling by these ideas to me, that's not a bad one. So yeah, I'm.
So you got the Flintstones.
Yeah, I'm the Flintstones.
Yeah. Okay. Topic number 2. Bavaria's 65th German finger wrestling championship had 150 competitors last Sunday.
Nice.
The unusual sport pits 2 opponents against each other across a table, each linking their middle fingers through a leather loop. Competitors attempt to drag their opponent to their side. Bounce normally lasts a few seconds, and in rare occasions, 1 minute. The sport traces its roots to the Alpine region and remains deeply popular throughout Bavaria. So, would you rather be a finger wrestling champ or a paper football champ? Would you rather be a finger wrestling champ or a paper football champ? Please pick one.
I'm watching a video of this finger wrestling. You said the German finger wrestling, right?
Yes.
There's no joke to this.
I know.
This is like you got like a thing that you have looped around your middle fingers, and so you're just like wailing at each other, like jerking back and forth on this thing. Like I can see Kenny Loggins doing a song for German finger wrestling.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can see Stallone turning his hat around backwards and doing a little German finger wrestling. That's some good stuff. Paper football. I mean, I love it, but at first blush, I would have gone with the paper football. But after looking at this video, I got to go with it. I can't pick that over this. This is some tough stuff here.
Yeah.
This German finger wrestling, some tough stuff.
I know. Here's the thing, though. Nobody ever tore a tendon in paper football.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I mean, I would rather play paper football probably. If I had to pick which one is I was teaching my daughter to play paper football a couple months ago. She didn't really take to it all that much. You know what? I mean, I'm never going to do this stupid German finger wrestling thing. Of course it's paper football.
Pick one topic, number 3. Guess what John Wayne and Elvis had in common? They both love grits.
Oh,
They
yeah,
both
okay.
loved grits. In fact, there's a John Wayne cookbook where one of the recipes inside it is true grits with cheese.
Ha, ha, ha. I see what he did there.
Okay, see what I did that? See, he made grits with a mix of cheddar and mozzarella. Meanwhile, Elvis grew up in Mississippi. He ate lots of grits when he grew up, and he would have extravagant omelets and pounds of bacon. They both loved their grits. So, Coop, how do you like your grits? Pick one topic, number 3. With cheese or without?
Yep, easy for me, without. I like just plain I don't hate them with cheese, and if I go to a restaurant that has a nice grits with cheese of some kind, because I know that's usually how they make them, that's fine. I mean, I'll eat them. But if I'm making them, or if I prefer the way I make them, just salt, butter, and pepper. That's it.
Man, I think that's the answer.
Yeah, that's the way I eat my grits, man. That's it.
Chris Lawrence was the same way. We all kind of like our grits without.
Yeah, I make grits about once a month in a pot at home. I love grits.
All right, pick one topic, number 4. The surviving members of Soundgarden will be performing at halftime during the Seahawks home opener on September the 9th.
Yeah.
Taylor Momsen from the Pretty Reckless will front the band. Pearl Jam's Mike McCready will be an additional guitarist. McCready will also perform the national anthem before the kickoff. So, more likely to listen to next, Soundgarden or Alice in Chains? Let's make this about the 90s. More likely to listen to next, Soundgarden or Alice in Chains?
Let's see. Who am I more likely to listen to next? I like both of them. By the way, isn't she the Lucy Who?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think she played in the Jim Carrey Who movie. I think she's the little girl in that. I think the lead singer of the Pretty Reckless. I think it's the same person.
Nice.
Let me see. Soundgarden or Alice in Chains? Man, I really like both bands, to be honest with you. But frankly, when they're in the pocket,
it's a tough one, isn't it?
It is tough. Recently, I've been listening to Alice in Chains more, so that's what I'm going to go with. I listened to Dirt last weekend, I think, so I'm going to go with Alice in Chains.
Good record. All right, finally, pick one topic, number 5. The cast of 30 Rock will reunite for a one-night-only anniversary event at Radio City Music Hall on October the 11th. Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, Tracy Morgan, Jack McBrayer, they're all confirmed. Proceeds will go to the Boys and Girls Club of Harlem. Tickets pre-sales began this morning. 2-hour car ride, Coop. 2-hour car ride. Tina Fey or Tracy Morgan? 2-hour car ride. Tracy Morgan or Tina Fey? Please pick one.
That's pretty easy for me as well. 30 Rock had another special during COVID where it was just them all behind their computers acting like their characters, and they put together some plot with it. It wasn't terrible for what it was. It was sort of a 30 Rock episode. Man, I love Tina Fey. 30 Rock, there's some times that if you asked me that I would tell you 30 Rock's my favorite comedy of all time, sitcom of all time. I absolutely love that show. I've read Tina Fey's book. I think it's fantastic. I think she's hugely talented. I would love to have a 2-hour conversation with her. I like Tracy Morgan, don't get me wrong, but I'm a legitimate fan of Tina Fey. I would go there.
That surprised me that you went that way. All right, what do you got for me?
All right, first of all, I need you to pick a benefit. Which of these would you rather spend with the rest of your life? The rest of your life with no red lights or the rest of your life with no passwords or anything like it ever again?
Oh, that's easy. Passwords. So easy. So
better
easy.
than no red lights.
Passwords.
I know, man.
Passwords.
And that's
I
something
can dodge
else.
stuff. I'm a pretty good dodger, but passwords, oh brother.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, let's see. Pick a song credit. Which of these would you rather have to your credit? An iconic lyrical hook or a legendary guitar riff?
Ooh, what a great question. Well, I think it's got to be lyric. Okay, a riff's a great riff. Okay, but a legendary lyric touches you on a lot of levels, right?
I think they both could be the right answer, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
I mean, if you have a really tremendous lyric, you'll also remember the music, okay? But sometimes if you have just a famous riff, you won't even remember what the song is.
But that's something to be said, too, that you just remember the riff where the rest of the song is unforgettable.
I think the lyric's the answer.
Okay, lyric it is. Let's see, question number 3. What is a better classic commercial campaign? Better classic commercial campaign. Life Cereal's Mikey. We all know Mikey. Mikey will eat anything. Or Double Mint and Chewing Gum and the Double Mint Twins, which they were different Double Mint twins for every generation, and they had their jingle, of course.
Yeah.
The Double Mint Twins and jingle, or Mikey and Life Cereal. Which was a better classic ad campaign?
Well, I think the Double Mint Twins campaign is much more successful, okay? It's more iconic and probably could not exist in 2026 the way it did before.
That's probably true.
That said, I think it is the better campaign.
Okay. All right. Double Mint Twin, or the Double Mint Twins campaign it is.
Yeah.
Question number 4. All right. I know how much you love bad boys. You know, you like to have them on your team.
You got that right.
So you got to pick me a wide receiver. Who are you picking? This was so much closer than I thought. Who are you picking between Michael Irvin and Chad Ochocinco?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, really? Well, I got to tell you, when Chad Johnson had that jacket that had all of his stats on the back, man, I love that. What a boss move that was.
He ain't wrong. He may not be wrong. He may not be wrong.
Listen, I'm a Steeler mark, right?
Yeah.
So I can't vote for Michael Irvin for anything.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So but Chad Johnston, man, he terrorized the Steelers too.
I hear you.
But I think I got to go with which one's a better player? Which one I'd rather have?
Either way, whichever way you want to take it.
I bet you Osinko's got better numbers. I bet he's got better numbers. But Michael's got the rings. Okay. But I can't go for Michael Irvin. Forget it, playmaker. Give me Chad Johnston.
Man, this is amazing, and Ochocinco has a point. Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame if Michael's in the Hall of Fame? It's just the rings that are the difference, right? They have nearly identical games played, nearly identical yardage. Michael has a little bit more yardage. Ochocinco has more touchdowns, has more Pro Bowls, more All Pros,
and he played on
terrible teams.
On terrible teams.
I think he has a point, to be completely honest with you. Okay, but you took.
I'm taking Chad Ochocinco.
You're taking Ochocinco. All right, I made you take a bingo. That's pretty good. All right, what do we have? Our last question here. Okay, so let's see. Both emerged from the early 80s LA scene as all-female bands who wrote and played their own music, a rarity that made them trailblazers. The Go-Go's came first, breaking through in 1981 with Beauty and the Beat and the hits Our Lips Are Sealed and We Got the Beat, powered by Belinda Carlisle and Jane Wilden. The Bangles followed mid-decade with a jangular, harmony-rich sound, scoring Manic Monday and Walk Like an Egyptian and Eternal Flame, led by Susanna Hoff. Dave, I am asking you to pick your all-girls 80 band. Is it the Go-Go's or the Bangles?
Oh, this is easy. The Go-Go's by far. They lap the Bangles.
Okay, all right.
They lap them.
Album covers are close.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. There's a pretty good story about that first Go-Go album cover.
That's a great album.
It's a great album. No, this is not close. This is not.
I just wanted to talk about the two all-girl bands. I love both of them.
I do too. I'm there for that. But the Go-Go's by a long margin. All right, there you go. That's buy or sell. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with the on the State File.
Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law, will return right after these messages.
In classrooms across the country. This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart, the Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George Breyer Field. Watch live on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. Bearcats versus Colts. Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. The Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
All right, welcome back. Time to crack open the On This Date file. We'll start with the birthdays. Sports birthdays up first, as always. Birthdays today. Oh, the beard. James Harden. Man, how's he going to spend all that money? More than $500 million earned as a basketball player. He's 37 years old today. David Price. Played for a lot of teams. Won a Cy Young Award with the Rays. 5-time All-Star, World Series champ. With the Red Sox, 2018, he's 41 years old today. Macaulay Culkin is 46. Branford Marsalis, 66 today. Chris Pine, Wonder Woman, Star Trek, 46 years old today. Melissa McCarthy is 56 years old today. Oh, John Mulaney is having a birthday today. He's 44 years old. Let's go way back and get some early John Mulaney stand-up.
The morning after a blackout, though, is so strange because I always feel like this detective trying to solve the mystery of how I got home the night before. It's the case of the empty wallet and the for some reason bleeding knee. And luckily I can get right on the case because I'm still fully clothed from the night before.
There you go. John Mulaney. 44 years old today. Also, from the movies on this date, 1951, An American in Paris. Music by George Gershwin, directed by Vincent Minnelli, starring Gene Kelly, premieres in theaters.
This is Paris, and I'm an American who lives here. I'm a painter. All my life, that's all I've ever wanted to do. Brother, if you can't paint in Paris, you better give up and marry the boss's daughter. Oh, I have a lot of good friends in Paris. A lot of very good friends.
And I am one of them. I'm a concert pianist. That's a pretentious way of saying I'm unemployed at the moment.
There you go. American in Paris on this date in 1951 debuts. It won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1952. 1996, Seventh Heaven premieres on the WB, starring a very young Jessica Biel.
From Aaron Spelling comes a celebration of life and the love that holds us together. Seventh Heaven, this fall on the WB.
Seventh Heaven on this date, 1996. From hockey on this date, 1971, Bobby Orr signs a 5-year deal with the Bruins worth $1 million. It's the first $1 million contract in NHL history.
How about Bobby Orr now? He's going to be he's always been a marked man, but he's going to be even more of a marked man this year. Is that are you going to have to make any adjustments, or are you just going to take each game as it comes along?
That's right, just take each game as they come along. Just play my game like I have been.
You know what I'm thinking about Jimmy Roberts now? You think that maybe something like this may develop in the rest of the league?
I don't think so. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can put a player back on the point and leave him out there against anybody because he's right out of the play. And when you're in your own end, it just means trouble for you because that's one less guy that we have to worry about, and we should have a guy opened in there. But I don't think they can do that. I'll just go along and play.
What a great reference to Jimmy Roberts. He was famously assigned by Scotty Bowman of the Blues to shadow and shut down Bobby Orr during the 1970 Stanley Cup Finals. Didn't work. Did not work. And our musical birthday to the break. Shirley Manson of Garbage is 60 years old today. How is that even possible? The 5 things to know at 5 o'clock in sports are coming next.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniels Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
This week on the Metro News Television Game of the Week powered by GoMart, the Grafton Bearcats travel to Philip Barber for the Week 1 matchup. Join us Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. for complete live coverage from George Breyer Field. Watch live on Metro News Television, YouTube, and Facebook. Bearcats versus Colts. Friday, August 28th at 7 p.m. The Metro News Television Game of the Week, powered by GoMart.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
Sports headlines at 5 o'clock. Major League Baseball this afternoon. Padres lead the Pirates 1-0, top of the fourth, and the Reds and the Giants in San Francisco tied at 2 in the top of the fourth. And the rich getting richer. Tommy Castellanos has committed to Texas Tech as a quarterback. Details in the 5 o'clock hour. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. Change on the way for our temperatures. Tuesday, Charleston got down to 53 for a low, 10 degrees below average, but quickly returning to overnight lows in the mid-60s as early as tonight. We'll then stay there consistently by Monday morning, starting off around 70, topping off in the 90s. So summer heat is making a comeback. One widespread round of thunderstorms Thursday afternoon, evening, into the overnight hours with a marginal risk for some damaging winds and large hail. Also locally heavy rainfall from Charleston toward Elkins and south of that line. We may see some localized flash flooding. Widespread accumulation, not much beyond that 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be all about where we could see some stubborn thunderstorms with low, slow movement, bringing some heavy rain over the same areas. Overnight, the storms in Ohio fall apart before they make it much into West Virginia. Then we will be seeing from Thursday afternoon into the evening, northwest to southeast movement of those thunderstorms ahead of a cold front. Fly CRW forecast, it starts at home. That same system will bring some storms if you're traveling toward D.C. and New York, but then high pressure quiets things down for those areas, including here at home over the weekend. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast. No more 50-degree lows even in the cooler areas. Mid-60s looking north overnight, then low to mid-80s here on Thursday. Looking toward Martinsburg to stay at 67 for a low, then close to 90 for a high Thursday, reaching 90 toward Petersburg and Moorfield. Even Snowshoe, 59 is the low temperature, then 75 there on Thursday, but 80s are common elsewhere. We'll see 61 for Marlinton, then Huntington at 66, closer to 90 for Huntington Thursday, Marlinton at 83. Over the weekend, trending quiet and hot.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
This is Metro News Hotline, presented by Salango Law. Metro News Hotline is a 3-hour audio tour navigating the world of sports, news, entertainment, tech, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Hotline is a no politics zone. You can join the conversation. Text the show at 304-825-5304. 304-TALK-304. Here's the host for Metro News Hotline, Dave Weekley.
All right, welcome back to the show. It's 5:06 in West Virginia. Time to start the third and final hour of our program today, Metro News Hotline. Thanks so much for tuning in today, folks. I really do appreciate it. Got a lot of stuff to get into in this hour, but before we do that, just let me give you a reminder. Now, we know a lot of our listeners tune in when they're in the car, and this is our most listened to hour. Drive time, don't you know? So people are leaving the office, or you're in your car with your kids, or maybe without your kids, just doing what you do, and that's all good. It's a one-way relationship here. We're here for you when you're ready to listen. But I do want to make you aware that we get going every day at 3:06, and we take you through until 6 o'clock. And if you can't listen to the whole show, you can always double back and check out the podcast. Now, our podcast is available everywhere, but here's what I do. This is the simplest way to do it. Just go to the website, wvmetronews.com. Our podcast is there, and you don't have to listen to the entire show. I know I can get on your nerves. But you can also check out any individual hours. We also chop it into little 10-minute segments of the most entertaining bits, or what we think is entertaining anyway, of the program, and you can find that at the website as well. So when you get to the front page, just hit that podcast link. You'll find our show. You'll find all the other shows on the network in a podcast form, so you can listen to them when you're ready to listen. And for those of you who are watching our program today, you're watching a radio show, how crazy is that, on YouTube or Facebook Live or the Metro News TV app, let me send out a special video hello. So I'm glad you're tuned in. We got a lot of stuff to get into in this particular hour. We'll keep our eyes on Major League Baseball this afternoon. Critical game for the Pirates. Reds are playing the Giants. Some games are already completed today. We'll keep our eyes on all that stuff. We're going to reset our question of the day. And I want to talk, we haven't really talked too much Mountaineer football or Mountaineer sports yet, but I want to fix that. Ryan Decker is going to join me here in a minute. Was on Channel 12, Golden Blue Nation, And I just noticed yesterday on social media that he's leaving after a long time. And I'm a fan of his work. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that with him, and we're going to get him on the air here in a second. So we'll do that. We'll play in or out. That'll be at 5:25. Tony Caridi normally joins me every Wednesday at 5:33. Tony's out of the box today. He'll be on the show tomorrow at 4:30. But with Tony out of the box today, I thought we'd get Davis Shultz in there. Slide him in today from Locked On Sunbelt Conference to talk about the first week of the college football season, in which so many teams from the Sun Belt, which include Marshall, will be playing teams from the Power Four. So how many of these Sun Belt teams have a shot to maybe, like David struck down Goliath, trying to win a game against a team from the Power Four? Marshall's going to be at Penn State week number 1 right now. They're more than 3 touchdown underdogs in the game, 24 points, 24.5 points, depending on where you follow the line. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And, I think a lot of people are looking at the Sun Belt and basically saying that James Madison, after what they've done the last couple of years, is the preseason favorite. Can a team really be a preseason favorite when you have a brand new head coach and you've only got 4 returning starters? And I don't think they have any returning starters on defense. Is that possible? I kind of feel like the Sun Belt is absolutely wide open. So we'll talk about that. I'll roll my theory out to Davis Shultz, and we'll see what he thinks about it, whether he salutes it or not. When we run it up the flagpole, we'll do that at 5:33. And then before we get on out of here, we'll get all of the responses gathered up to our question of the day, which is this. The $17 billion meta settlement this afternoon with a variety of states. It was announced earlier today. It centers on teen social media usage limits. So the question of the day, and it is sponsored by Salango Law, if you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? Can you imagine? If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? Instead of the constant doom scrolling that just goes on and on and on, suddenly that wouldn't be available to you. What would you do? Would you maybe learn a language and another language? Maybe play an incident? Clean out your basement? Who knows? We want to know. If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? To text, get those texts in, 304-TALK, 304-825-5304. 304. I'm on X. Yeah, still there. At Weekly, W-E-E-K-L-E-Y, one word, 3 E's, W-E-E-K-L-E-Y. All right, let me bring Ryan Decker into the conversation to talk about his career, West Virginia University sports, and what's next. Ryan, thanks for coming on the show. How you doing today?
Dave, I'm great. I'm excited to be on with you. Always been a fan, so really appreciate this opportunity.
Hey, let me ask you this. You're a lot younger than I am, so people change jobs. How are you dealing with the transition? How you hanging in there with that?
Yeah, so far so good. So day 3 at the new job at Interaction Media in Morgantown, and so far so good. They're throwing me into the deep end early, which is exactly how I like it. Let's just go ahead and get our hands dirty early on. So yeah, it's been good so far. First time in my entire life doing the 9-to-5 job schedule. So that has been a bit of an adjustment, but other than that, it's going really well. So no complaints here.
So you're a West Virginia guy, right? So you started at Channel 12 at WBOY. I was there very briefly. How long were you at Channel 12?
So I was at BOY for about 3.5 years, graduated from WVU in 2018, started there the very next week, and then was there through about October of 2021, so about 3.5 years there at WBOY, and then made the switch over to Golden Blue Nation, and I've been there ever since until last Friday. So,
you've been grinding on these Golden Blue Nation reports. I would see them on WOWK here in Charleston, and I would always marvel at the way you would find stuff to talk about outside of the football, basketball, and baseball season. It's a grind.
It definitely was. The summer certainly can get difficult at times. Local sports journalists, they certainly know what I'm talking about. But, it was always fun. It would give you an opportunity to be a little bit different or unique, or to just to find something different to reflect on or highlight, or someone different to talk to. So the summer was always a good opportunity to get creative.
All right, so you did the Gold and Blue Nation report for quite a while. Were you were part of the original gang, right?
Not part of the original gang. So they rebranded from what was West Virginia Illustrated right before I joined.
Gotcha. Okay.
And really only one member of the original gang is still there. That's Nick Farrell. He's the executive producer, and has been. That's kind of who I replaced. He moved up a rank, and then I moved up a rank to follow him. And Nick is still there, but other than that, the gang has gone on to various journeys.
So what do you consider some of your favorite stories regarding WVU during your time there at Gold and Blue Nation?
Yeah, Dave, really fortunate in my time. One of the last major things I covered with Gold and Blue Nation was WVU baseball's inaugural trip to Omaha and the College World Series. And I fell in love with that team and that program as a college student through the college radio station. Got to be with that team in 2017 when they made the NCAA tournament for the first time in 21 years. So fell in love with that team and got emotional a couple months ago watching them run onto the field for the first time from the first base dugout or third base dugout, wherever I was. That was just such a cool moment. Got to chat with a couple of former players while I was out there. And they just kind of marveled at the prospect of West Virginia baseball finally being in Omaha after all these years. So that was certainly a highlight for me. The Greenbrier 5 game down at the Greenbrier earlier this past academic year, I guess you could say, with women's basketball. That was just such a cool experience, watching a team of literally 5 players after halftime take down a nationally ranked Duke team. That was just such a fun experience. And then to add on to that team ended up hosting NCAA tournament games this year at the Coliseum, which was just so cool. A couple others, the football win over Pitt in 2023, kind of getting that monkey off the program's back was really cool to be a part of and to see there in person. The College Cup for men's soccer in 23, that was just such a unique experience, a program that had never been that far before, and getting to that point in the season was really cool to be able to go down to Louisville and see that. And then just a couple of the, I guess, interviews and the things that we get to do on a daily basis there with Gold and Blue Nation. I'll miss doing, was looking through stuff the other day. A couple of the special teams interviews that I did over the years with Leighton Bechtel, the holder, and Austin Brinkman, the long snapper.
Nice.
Just unique guys, unique storylines, funny moments with them that were fun to look back on. And then certainly it seems topical now. The Willie Akers interview I did a few years ago on Jerry West Day when they retired Jerry West number throughout the entire athletics department. And then West Virginia ended up taking down 2 ranked.
Ryan, are you still there?
Yeah,
okay.
Still there with you.
Okay.
Willie Akers, just such a special interview that I got to do that, and it seems very topical now.
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely, it is absolutely. So, man, I'm going to miss you on the pregame shows because I would always watch that.
Well, we definitely appreciate watching. I will say I will not miss waking up that early on a Saturday morning to get over to the football field. I will say that. But that being said, being there for all those games, traveling with the team the last few years, certainly gave me a lot of memories, a lot of great memories and fun experiences.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I definitely wanted to touch base with you. I was surprised when I saw that you were leaving. Are you going to miss sports? What are you going to be doing in your new role?
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of sports crossover, just depending on what each day brings, but mainly a video editor and content producer for Interaction Media. It's a marketing and advertising agency in Morgantown, and we've got clients throughout the state, so hitting the ground running there. But I bumped into one of the guys who works there. I guess it was last year when Hope Gas became the naming rights holder for the Coliseum. So there's a bit of a sports crossover there at times, but yeah, I mean, certainly are going to be watching the Mountaineers any chance I get, and staying extremely passionate about sports and other ventures as well.
Well, hey, I'm just glad I got a chance to talk to you because I understand your last report for Golden Blue Nation was last Friday, and I saw your social media post yesterday. And when I saw it, I thought, man, I got to get Ryan on the air because I really appreciated the work that you did covering WVU for the last few years on the Golden Blue Nation. Hey, thanks for coming on the show, and best of luck to you in the future. And don't be a stranger.
Definitely will not be a stranger, Dave. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate what you just said there. And, definitely keep in touch.
All right, Ryan Decker, a longtime part of the Golden Blue Nation on the Next Star Network. We saw that on many of the many stations around the state of West Virginia, Channel 12 as well. Really a guy to keep your eye on, absolutely. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll play In or Out in just a moment.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Hi, I'm Colin McCardle, a lifelong West Virginia native, and I'm proud to be a part of the planning team at Civil and Environmental Consultants. From mountain bike trails and riverfront parks to destination tourism and community revitalization, CEC is helping shape the future of West Virginia. We work with communities across our state to create new opportunities and build places where the next generation can live, work, play, and fall in love with West Virginia. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit CECINC.com.
You can call us at 800-765-8255. Text us at 304-825-5304. Or tweet at WEEKLEY. This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart. Only on Metro News Television.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die. And that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
All right, welcome back. Almost 25 after. This has been a quickly moving show. Time to play in or out. Two-man bobsled edition today. Every day at this time, we focus on the stuff you talk about at the office. We call it in or out. The setup is simple. 3 categories: food or beverage, gut reaction. Finally, this one's about a celebrity. The topics of which change daily. Let's get started with food or beverage. Coop, are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right. Arby's steak nuggets are back. They're back for a limited time. And they're joined by a new Horsey Ranch dipping sauce, a blend of ranch and Arby's signature Horsey sauce. They're available in a 5-piece for $5.99 or a 9-piece for $9.99. Arby's steak nuggets. In or out?
There's just something about this that doesn't seem right. I can't imagine how it's good. How can a piece of steak nugget be good? The way chicken nuggets work is it's not like real chicken. It's processed chicken that they reform into the nugget that you can eat. I'm not complaining. I'm fine with it, but I can't see how that works with steak. But it's steak, right? I'm slightly in.
Yeah.
I'm actually just curious.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sort of curious adjacent on this, because if it didn't work, why are they bringing it back?
Exactly.
Right?
But it's Arby's, and in my opinion, they just throw everything at the wall. So I don't know.
That may be true. That may be true. You know what? I'm kind of with you on this. I'm going to be slightly in, but I'm not going to lie to you. I've never ordered this.
Yeah, I don't think I would, but I need somebody to order it and give me one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm not really sure how I would go for the new sauce. Yeah. Although I've got a cabinet full of old Arby's sauces. I never throw those things away, but I always make sure I don't get the horseradish sauce. So I can't imagine I would actually eat this. But slightly in. Okay, here's a topic. This could probably be a whole segment, but now it's only up for a minute in and or out. Cinemark theaters and Regal theaters have introduced collectible popcorn buckets for Avengers Endgame, the re-release. The Iron Man Mark 85 helmet and the Nano Gauntlet both feature LED lights. The helmet projects I Love You 3000 from one eye, while the Gauntlet's 6 Infinity Stones illuminate. Let's just talk about popcorn buckets. Popcorn buckets. In or out?
First, I have to just comment on this Avengers thing. That seems like a very odd one, considering the character's not in the movie.
Yeah, it's.
The actor is, but not the character.
The Avengers Doomsday is set for release on December the 18th. I just want to talk about buckets.
Yeah, buckets, popcorn buckets. Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you this: the theater that reopened next to our house downtown here, Park Place.
Right.
I think they still have it where you can get a bucket, get your popcorn, eat it, and then go back and get a refill for free. That kind of bucket, I'm totally in on.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use that as my bucket, and I'm gonna be in, because free refills for your popcorn bucket is pretty tight.
Here's another. We could almost do a future question of the day about this. What movie franchise would make you spend $30 on a specialty popcorn bucket?
I don't know if there's any anymore.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be slightly out on this.
Okay.
If you want to sell me a souvenir, fine. But it doesn't have to be a popcorn bucket, does it? I don't know. I get the feeling like Sometimes I can sense in the force people who are in their cars being against me on this.
I don't know, man, because my other thing with this, just going back to the original point, is that this sounds like it was for the last Avengers movie. Infinity Gauntlets, Iron Man, I mean, that's all in the past. Yeah. That's weird.
Well, if Ryan was here, would Ryan be in on this?
He would, probably not.
He'd probably be in on it because I'm out.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
He'd find some way to get around to that.
Yeah. All right, finally, this one's about a celebrity. Oh, guess who's making a TV comeback at the age of 81?
Arthur Fonzarelli.
Tom Selleck.
Oh, okay.
Tom Selleck is going to be coming back.
Show's not on anymore, the Blue Blood show?
The Blue Bloods? No, where he was like the police chief.
Yeah, I had no idea. Okay.
That was on for 14 years.
I know, yeah, I thought it was still on.
He's 81. He's going to guest star on an untitled Apple TV Plus comedy alongside Elizabeth Banks and Ted Danson. Now, he and Danson were in that 1987 film
3 Men and a Baby, baby.
Yeah, that was 40 years ago.
Holy cow.
40 years ago.
Steve Guttenberg, too.
Yeah, Tom Selleck in or out.
And I've always been a fan of Tom Selleck. I love back to the Magnum days, of course. I just think that Tom Selleck, he would have been Indiana Jones at one time, too, right?
Yeah.
I've always liked him. And with Ted Danson, man, that Ted Danson is doing better work now than he's done any other point in his career. Amazing. Anyway, Tom Selleck, I got to be in, man.
I can't fight it. Tom Selleck, I'm absolutely in.
I'm out on reverse mortgages, though. I'm totally out on reverse mortgages.
Solid point there. All right, we're talking Sun Belt football when we come back. This is Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. Change on the way for our temperatures. Tuesday, Charleston got down to 53 for a low, 10 degrees below average, but quickly returning to overnight lows in the mid-60s as early as tonight. We'll then stay there consistently by Monday morning, starting off around 70, topping off in the 90s. So summer heat is making a comeback. One widespread round of thunderstorms Thursday afternoon, evening into the overnight hours with a marginal risk for some damaging winds and large hail. Also locally heavy rainfall from Charleston toward Elkins and south of that line. We may see some localized flash flooding. Widespread accumulation, not much beyond that 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be all about where we could see some stubborn thunderstorms with low, slow movement, bringing some heavy rain over the same areas. Overnight, the storms in Ohio fall apart before they make it much into West Virginia. Then we will be seeing from Thursday afternoon into the evening, northwest to southeast movement of those thunderstorms ahead of a cold front. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. That same system will bring some storms if you're traveling toward D.C. and New York, but then high pressure quiets things down for those areas, including here at home over the weekend. Panhandle to Panhandle forecast. No more 50-degree lows even in the cooler areas. Mid-60s looking north overnight, then low to mid-80s here on Thursday. Looking toward Martinsburg to stay at 67 for a low, then close to 90 for a high Thursday, reaching 90 toward Petersburg and Moorfield. Even Snowshoe, 59 is the low temperature, then 75 there on Thursday, but 80s are common elsewhere. We'll see 61 for Marlinton, then Huntington at 66, closer to 90 for Huntington Thursday, Marlinton at 83. Over the weekend, trending quiet and hot.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
I love the state of West Virginia. I've met some of my best friends. I'm excited to be back. I still have my pickup truck. I still have four-wheel drive. One of the ladies asked me in the forum if I know how to drive in the snow. I told her, oh, yeah, I spent 5 years in Elkins.
See, that's one of those things. Now that you're coming to Fairmont, you've handled the Elkins winter.
Yeah,
this
if you can handle Randolph County.
I mean, you're moving. This is basically coming back to Florida here when you get to Fairmont. I mean, this is easy.
It's going to be a breeze.
Sportsline on Metro News Television. If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
Gentlemen, I could not care less if you read this message. All right, moving on to the next one. 304 Talk 304. Well, they said it, not me.
Oh, it's terrible. Read the guy's phone.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
All right, welcome back. 26 till the hour, Metro News Hotline. Now, normally at 5:33 on Wednesdays, Tony Caridi joins me to talk about the Mountaineers and more. Tony's out of the box today, but he'll be in tomorrow. He'll join us at 4:33. We're going to talk with Davis Shultz from the Locked On Sunbelt podcast here in just a moment, YouTube channel as well, about Sunbelt teams, including Marshall, that will be taking aim on upset opportunities against teams from the Power Four conferences. And that includes Coastal Carolina, West Virginia's opening game opponent. So the Mountaineers will be hosting the Chanticleers. That will be a week from Saturday. So I just want to talk a little bit about these matchups. And maybe there's just a little bit amongst the national media looking at the Sun Belt Conference, maybe just we might be overestimating JMU just a little bit. Just a little bit. So we're going to talk to him about that in just a sec. Question of the day. We really haven't gotten into too many of your responses. We're going to fix that a little bit later on in the half hour. We're starting to get quite a few. So the big story nationally today has to be the $17 billion settlement by Meta with multiple states in this country announced today, centering on team social media usage limits. So here's the question of the day, and it is sponsored by Salango Law. If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all of that extra free time, right? Say, for example, after a couple of hours, no more doom scrolling, no more checking your Facebook. You got to set your phone down. What would you do with all that extra free time? If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? Maybe learn to play a musical instrument, learn a language, clean out the basement, mow the lawn, use that phone to maybe call a relative. What would you do with that? Get another job, a secondary job, another income stream? That's the question. If you had a forced 2-hour daily limit on your favorite social media app, what would you actually do with all that extra free time? To respond, text those in, 304-TALK 304, 304-8255-304. I'm on Exit Weekly, WEEKLEY, one word, 3 E's, WEEKLEY. By the way, we're keeping our eyes on both the Pirates and the Reds who are playing this afternoon. Going to the 7th inning, the Reds are trailing the Giants 6-2. And I mentioned that Bubba Chandler for the Pirates, this is arguably maybe the most important start of his young baseball career. He's pitched pretty well, but right now the Pirates are losing to the Padres in San Diego, 2-0. Chandler has 74 pitches through the first 5, so he's in pretty good shape to go out there for another inning. We'll let you know how that works out. But let's talk a little bit about Sun Belt Conference football. And David Shultz joins me from the Locked On podcast. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you?
So let me ask you first of all, what do you make? Are you ready to write in pen that JMU is going to win the Sun Belt?
Oh, no, I don't have JMU winning the East.
Oh, you don't?
I got ODU winning the East. I got Troy winning the West. And I got Troy winning the Sun Belt Championship. Yep.
All right. So where do you have JMU in the standings in the East? Do you have them third? Do you have them second? Where you got them?
No, I got them right behind. I got them behind ODU, and Marshall is third.
I gotcha. Well, there's a little bit of buzz about Marshall. We were talking about this a couple of days ago. I don't know if you saw this or not, but The Athletic ranked all 138 teams, and they've got Marshall ranked at 101. Do you think there will be 100 teams, triple figures, 100 teams better than Marshall this year? 100 teams?
I don't. And I don't. I give The Athletic a little bit more credit. R.J. Young from Fox Sports, he ranked all 138 FBS teams, and he had Southern Miss third in the Sun Belt in terms of his rankings. And I just don't know how much these national guys know about the Sun Belt. right? We've had a couple of guys announce, starting quarterbacks for the Sun Belt that we knew when they got there. Malachi Singleton was announced as the starter for App State, but we knew that in July at Sun Belt Media Days. If Max Johnson is healthy with Georgia Southern, we knew he was going to be the starting quarterback. So I don't know how much they're focused on the Sun Belt as much as we are. It's always good when the Sun Belt gets some national exposure, but I don't know how much they're focused on that. They're focused on Texas, Ohio State, and Georgia.
I'm looking at some of these games that Sun Belt teams are going to be playing against teams from the Power Four, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of maybe the best upset chances, you mentioned you've got ODU as your pick to win the East of the Sun Belt. What kind of a chance do you give the Monarchs against a Virginia Tech team that's got a brand-new coach?
Well, let's see what happens in week 1 because they go there week 2.
Right.
But they basically ended Brent Pry's coaching career when they went into Blacksburg last year and took them down. That was with Colton Joseph, though. This one is with Quinn Hennicle. He's very athletic. We'll see how much he can throw. I think there's a shot. Who knows what James Franklin has there. Also, you want early season games. Marshall's going to Penn State. They got a whole new operation up there. At Penn State. And then one that's under the radar because it's week 3, although they just made it a 6 p.m. game. Troy is going to Missouri. Nobody in Missouri, in Columbia, is thinking that Troy's going to win that ball game. They're going to be looking 2 weeks ahead. And then I'll give you a sneaky one because they weren't very good last year, and we'll see how good they are this year. South Alabama is coming to Kentucky. I believe that is week 4. Kentucky may have the hardest schedule in America. Week 2, they're playing Alabama. Week 3, they're going to Texas A&M. And then the week after South Alabama, they're going to Mississippi State. So and that South Alabama game is at 12:45 p.m. Against Kentucky just after noon. So maybe South Alabama can sneak into victory. There's some games in there that the Sun Belt can absolutely pull off.
You know what? I like I like what you're cooking there. I think that's really well thought out. I think you might be onto something there about USA and the Jaguars. Well, we just did a segment earlier in this hour about WVU football, looking ahead to the season. There are a couple of these matchups, teams from the Sun Belt playing Power 4 conference teams in week 1. You mentioned Marshall at Penn State. The Knits are a 24.5-point favorite in that game. The total is 54.5. And at the moment, the lines will keep moving. But Coastal Carolina's at WVU. That's a noon game on Saturday the 5th. WVU at this moment is favored by 21.5. The total is 56.5. I got to tell you, I kind of felt like that line kind of indicates that this might be a better game than many fans think. I think the line should be bigger on that game. What kind of a chance do you give Coastal against West Virginia?
Well, I don't even know who the Coastal Carolina quarterback is.
That's a problem.
Yeah, it could be. I think it's Trevor Jackson. That'd be Trevor with a second E at the end. I made that spelling mistake on the podcast. He was a highly rated quarterback from Arkansas. Or it could be Deuce Bailey, who came in with a new coach from Missouri State. It's a tough first game for Ryan Beard and Coastal Carolina going in to play the Mountaineers' first game. I'm not sure how good the Mountaineers are supposed to be this year, right? Their win total is like 5.5.
Correct.
Not a whole lot of people are thinking very highly. And Rich Rod was looking for players to fill out the roster, right? Wasn't he going to go get the student body? Doesn't he need like another 8 players? I don't know if that's just, for depth or whatever, but that seems a little bit odd. I'd have much more confidence in Coastal Carolina if it was week 2, but I just don't know what Coastal is going to look like in week 1 at all. And that's why I kind of like Vatek. I think Penn State may be better down the road, but Marshall may be better early on. And with Kentucky, their focus may not be on South Alabama. So that's why I like those ball games. And Missouri will be looking past Troy. Tough to look past your opening weekend opponent is the only problem.
That's true. That's right. Penn State. I'm not sure how they're going to do against Marshall, but by the looks of their schedule, I think Penn State could be a team that wins 10 or more games this year. Two more before I let you go.
By the way, that spread is like 25.5 points.
Right.
I like Marshall to cover, and I'm going to put a little bit on Marshall to win that football game.
Okay, okay. Well, they've shocked people before. I mean, they've won at Clemson. They've won at Notre Dame. They've beaten Virginia Tech. They can be tricky in that opening game. A couple more before I let you go. We're talking with David Shultz from the Locked On podcast, covers the Sun Belt Conference. You know, in a normal year, I think Appalachian at NC State would be a pretty good game. But, you know, NC State, we just talked about their game against UVA in week 0 that's coming up this weekend. You know, they're kind of grumbling in Boone, right? This is not supposed to be that good of an Appalachian State team.
Well, they were one of the teams that brought in a new quarterback that named him the quarterback. He was another one of those guys that, I think that happened today, Malachi Singleton named App State quarterback. Well, we all knew that because he was, you know, a month ago at Sunbelt Media Days. They're grumbling a little bit because the new coach, Dowell Loggins, is kind of treating it like an NFL type of franchise, and he's not getting to know the community, and it's a really small community. So it doesn't take very long to meet everybody, you know, and they really love their football. They lead the Sun Belt Conference in attendance, and they have, what do they have, a half a dozen division, you know, Power 4 schools in the state, and there's certainly plenty of football in North Carolina, and you got to make an effort to get to Boone if you're not in that area, right? That is not the easiest place in the world to get to.
Yeah,
so they're grumbling along those lines. Now, having said that, on the field, you know, they lost a lot of close ball games. They got to play in a bowl game, which was after the fact because they couldn't find anyone else to play in it, and that was against the rival, Georgia Southern. He needs to win a little bit, because if he doesn't make a lot of friends, and in college football, you know, you got to do that. You got to make friends with the right people. He may be gone, but I'm a big fan of Dowell Loggins, and we'll see. You know, quarterbacking just wasn't right last year. If Malachi Singleton is any good, they may be pretty good this year.
All right, starting to wind down with David Shultz, but I did want to mention this, that the majority of teams in the Sun Belt will only play one team out of the Power 4, but Georgia Southern and newcomer Louisiana Tech, they'll play 2. Louisiana Tech is going to play at LSU. They're also going to play at Baylor in the Big 12. Georgia Southern's really kind of an interesting case. They play 2 Power 4 teams. They will be in Death Valley to play Clemson, but they also have a home game against Houston. So Houston, a lot of people think, could be a top 25 team out of the Big 12. You know, that could be a kind of a tricky game. Under the lights, things get lathered up at Georgia Southern. Could Georgia Southern give Houston a problem?
Well, they could, but the problem is they're bringing in the former coach. So if there's anyone who could tell the Houston football players, don't think you're playing anybody that's not any good, you know, because Willie Fritz coached Georgia Southern before Clay Helton did. And watch out for Max Johnson. They're another one of those teams that's, you know, under the radar, another guy that they said was starting, and we all knew it. And he's like 25, 26 years old. And then when healthy, Max Johnson is good. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy. So that could be an interesting one as well. And it'll be a great atmosphere because Statesboro will certainly welcome in Willie Fritz. His career took off at Statesboro in Georgia Southern. Then he went to Tulane, and now he's at Houston.
By the way, in all of these games, pitting Sun Belt teams against teams from the Power 4, that Georgia Southern game where they host Houston, that is the only game where the Sun Belt team is at home. So that's kind of a curious one. Hey, David,
Hey, Dave, quick thing about the JMU schedule. Couple things. They are playing San Diego State, and they're going to get back home late, and they got the Sun Belt opener the next week against ODU, and JMU does not have an off week until the second to last week of the season. That's going to be very interesting.
All right, got to leave it there. David, thanks for jumping on with us to talk a little Sun Belt football. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Dave. Thanks for having me.
David Shultz, the Locked On Sun Belt podcast. Coop, breaking news. I think we're going to need the breaking news sounder. A little breaking news in the world. Breaking news. The NFL has just eliminated the Pro Bowl. Did you hear that? The NFL has just eliminated the Pro Bowl.
Oh, fondly.
How about that?
Man, that was
How about that?
That was a slow, painful death.
Yeah, you got that right. Long overdue.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
Long overdue.
So what are they going to do in the week? When do I don't even know when they play it. The week between, after. What do they even play it now?
They are going to, according to ESPN, they have sources. They got sources and stuff that say they're going to focus more on players being named All Pro, and so this is a Shefty note. The NFL has eliminated Pro Bowl games per a league official. The focus will now shift to celebrating the honor of being a Pro Bowl selection. So it'll be a selection for a game that won't be played.
Is it still going to be called the Pro Bowl? How does that work? And how do you distinguish that between that and an All-Pro then?
I know.
I mean, the only difference before was one of them had a game attached to it.
I know.
And it was a little bit like All-Pro is a little bit more serious than a Pro Bowler.
All true, all true. Let's take a break. We're back in a minute.
This is Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
On the next State of Minds.
I was in liver failure, and I was told I needed to quit drinking or I was going to die, and that was at 36. When he invited me to church, all the hair on my arms, my chest, my back, it all stood up. You're taught to love, you're taught to forgive, and there's a reason for that. It lets you be healthy and lets you move forward with a vision for your life that's not defined by what happened to you.
All right, relatively short segment here. Let me give you an update on what's going on in baseball. The Reds have scored a run, and they're still batting in the top of the seventh inning, but they continue to trail the Giants 6-3. Coop, did you see where Devers hit another home run in this game? That's 4 home runs for him in the last 6 games, and now he's homered in every game in this series.
He's just crushing the Reds.
They can't get the guy out. How many home runs is that on the season for him? It's got to be. Was 29? 29. He's got 29 home runs, and his RBI total is going up too. So, he's kind of been a bright spot in a really dismal year for the Giants.
Yeah, but wait, I tell you very quickly on the Reds, you know that things have really gone bad when the announcers have moved into their, it's a hard game, and it's a long season, and these guys go out there every day and do their best. When you get the announcers on that track, things are not going well.
Yeah, it's not going really well. Pirates are having a problem getting anything going offensively in their game in San Diego. This game has now moved to the top of the 7th inning, and the Padres continue to lead this game 2-0. The Bucks have only 2 hits in this game. Bubba Chandler is out of the game. Bubba Chandler, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Lowers his ERA to 4.26. A pretty good outing. Not a quality start, but pretty close. 5 2/3 and only allowed 1 earned run. But right now he is he's the projected loser in this game. Pirates only have 2 hits this afternoon, and they are both singles, and Horowitz has got them both. But the Bucks, nothing on the board yet. Let me get a quick peek at before we have to take another quick break. That segment went a little long, so I want to make sure we get to a break here in a sec. But games that are already done in the books today, the Rays won in Detroit over the Tigers 3-0. Games in progress, top of the 9th inning in Arizona. Diamondbacks lead the Cubs 2-0. The Cubs have only got 2 hits so far this afternoon. The Guardians have really been playing some great baseball, but they are on the losing end of it right now at the Big A. Top of the 7th inning, Angels lead the Guardians 3-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Phillies, who have been red hot, lead the Mariners in Seattle 6-0, and they have held the Mariners to only 1 hit through the first 6 innings of that game. Let's take a quick break here. And, by the way, the Dirty Birds are home tonight, continuing to be home. They beat Lancaster last night 7-5. They'll play Lancaster again tonight at Gilmar Ballpark. Let's take a break. We're back to wrap it for the day in a minute.
Moving Day, a walk for Parkinson's, is happening around the country. More than just a walk. Moving Day is a fun experience that unites the community in the fight against Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's doesn't stop, and neither will we. So let's get moving. Join the Parkinson's Foundation to learn more and register for an event in your area at movingdaywalk.org. That's movingdaywalk.org.
The Library of Congress invites you to visit the revamped Veterans History Project website, where firsthand accounts shared by U.S. military veterans are accessible to the public. Performing a search of the collection is easy. First, go to loc.gov/vets. Click Explore the Collections. Scroll down to Search the VHP Collections and click. Make sure you're searching this collection, and with simple keywords, you can find what you're looking for. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health, resulting in high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain social connections. Try a new hobby, volunteer, exercise, or use your phone or other device to stay in touch. Visit connecttoeffect.org to find resources and ways to stay connected. Presented by AARP Foundation with support from United Healthcare.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
To the big-hearted, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
I'm Scarlett Johansson.
My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Being blind doesn't always look how others may think.
Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support and where I can be seen.
Innovative research, educational resources, supportive community. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is leading the charge in finding treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Learn more at fightingblindness.org. A public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for today. We thank you so much for listening and sending your answers to our question of the day and more. Stay tuned for the news at the top of the hour. Sportsline is on the other side. And don't forget about the high school football season debut of High School Sportsline tonight, beginning at 7 o'clock. My name's Dave Weekley. I will talk to you tomorrow, beginning at 3:06. Right here on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hotline on the Metro News Network is presented by Salango Law, salangolaw.com. Hear Hotline weekdays from 3 until 6 on this Metro News station or wvmetronews.com. Visit the site or your favorite podcast service for past shows and features. This has been Hotline, presented by Salango Law on Metro News, the voice of West